Hello, I want to welcome you. We are now live here on Facebook, and we are going to have a very special time here together. So, we have a topic for today that we are going to be diving into. And immediately after we go through the lesson that I prepared for today, we're also going to open it up for any questions that you may have. And so, what I'd like to do is, I'd like you to ensure that you get a pen and paper and you're ready to take notes, whether you're watching this live right now on May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, today at 12 noon. Here it is in the Eastern time zone. And, or you're watching the replay, because I know this will be available for replay as well. What I suggest that you do is take notes. And not only take notes, make sure that you plan on doing something about what I'm going to guide you through today, because the topic that we chose for our session together is to address any questions that you have around success, but also to give you some guidance around 3 things that you can do that can positively and profoundly change your life in the period of 1 year. So if that's something you love to do, well, you are absolutely in the right place. So it looks like we have Robert with us and Gregory. Welcome. Welcome, gentlemen. Good to have you here. And I believe Roddy is probably on the line as well. Okay, so get one of these, a pen, get some paper ready, and I'm going to cover off 3 things that I believe that you should do that'll positively change your life. And the reason why I chose these 3 things is because it had been recommended to me to create some reels for social media. And one of the things that the agency that we work with, I just love working with this group, they suggest is they give topics for these reels, suggestions on different topics to speak about. And I was very much attracted to the idea of how to change your life in a year. And I did create a very short 30-second reel for that. But I decided that I would also include it here for you as something of value, because I really feel that 30 seconds, sure, it's a great amount of time to get across a message, but it really requires a little bit more time to understand it. So let's look at what are the 3 things that can positively and excuse me, and profoundly change your life in the period of 1 year. Well, the first one is to hire a mentor. Excuse me. Like, choose someone that is in success, or has created success, has a massive amount of understanding on how to create success, and has demonstrated by their results, and find someone that you can mentor with. I really believe mentors are designed to accomplish a couple of things. One, to bring out the best that's within you, because there's so much more that you can do, and so much more that you can have, and so much more that you can experience. So that's one thing, is that they draw out the best of you. And the second thing is, a mentor will inspire you to go further than you've ever gone before. And the reason why they do that is because of a great sense of caring. Mentors, a really good mentor will deeply care about her or his clients or their clients. And also, they have the understanding because they've been there, done that, meaning that they've gone through their own experience, their own challenges, they've overcome them, created great results. And therefore, what that does for you is it could shave off months, maybe years of your time, because they've already gone through their own experiences and can help you shorten the time frame for you as well to get over any obstacles or challenges that you may find or have. Now, I've had a mentor for over 40 years, and he's become a very close, dear friend of mine, and that is Bob Proctor. And Bob Proctor continues to invite me to grow. He continues to see more in me than what I see in myself or ever saw in myself. He's also a brilliant student. He's not only a teacher, speaker, mentor, Bob Proctor is also a student of success. And every day he chooses to study. And by the way, that's another tip. Yes, we're talking about 3 ways to positively change your life in a year. Getting a mentor is number 1. But getting a mentor, what that means is not just hiring someone that's going to guide you or teach you or help you walk through the steps, but they're also going to give you recommendations on things to do. And it's up to you to follow through. Just like I said when we started this call here today, I suggested that you get a pen and paper and write down the ideas. Now, if you don't have a mentor now, there are different ways that you can have a mentor. You can have a mentor by being in programs where they may not, the mentor or the teacher may not be working with you privately or individually, but they may still be guiding you because you're going through their programs and you're following through as well. So having a mentor is not necessarily the thing that's going to change your life in a year, but following through on the advice of a mentor or a teacher is the thing that's going to positively change your life in a year. And I think about Vladdy Kanuva, who's in our, is she here? Vladdy, are you on the call with us right now? Anyways, Vladdy has been working with me now for a very short period of time. And the reason why I asked Vladdy to be a part of our team is because she has made massive change in her life in a very short period of time. And one of the things that Vladdy did was she decided to saturate her mind with these materials, success materials. And so she became a student of mine. And then I began to mentor her. And she's also a student of Bob Proctor as well. So a great student is someone who not only is involved in the trainings, but they're following through as well. And I'm certain if Vladdy was here, she could honestly say to you that the reason why she has experienced such positive change in a relatively short period of time is because of her investment in herself and of following through with the materials that she's been studying. And I remember many years ago hearing Bob Proctor say that no amount of going to seminars, watching videos, reading the books, listening to audios is going to do anything for you unless and until you understand it and then apply it. So how do you understand it? Well, you understand it through the study. That's how you get the understanding. And then you must apply. And this is really where I believe is my place on this earth, is to help people have a simplistic understanding. And then, of course, I am very much into the doingness as well as the beingness, meaning I take action. So what I love to do for my clients is make recommendations. Here's what I would suggest that you do. So if you don't have a mentor and you're not following someone's program or following the guidance of someone else, that would be a recommendation if you'd really love to have a quantum leap in the next year in your results. I actually created a 6-month program called Skipping Levels, and that is exactly what it's designed for. Skipping Levels has been designed to help people have that quantum leap by giving them the guidance through this very intensive program. All right, thank you. All right, the next thing that I want to suggest, yeah, Vladdy is a diamond. You're right. Thank you. All right, the next thing that I would like to suggest, number 2 of the 3 things to positively change your life in a year, is to set some stretch goals. What is a stretch goal? A stretch goal is a goal that you would love to accomplish, but you have no earthly idea how you're ever going to accomplish it. And the truth is, you don't have to know how. And I want you to really understand that very, very clearly. And this was the most valuable lesson I've ever learned from Bob Proctor. And that is, you decide what you want and recognize that you don't have to know how you're going to get it. But having stretch goals, you having a stretch goal, why that is such a valuable thing for you to do within a 1-year period is because the benefit of setting stretch goals, goals that you have no idea how you're going to accomplish, but yet you're excited by them, is because you're going to grow in that experience. So the real benefit of accomplishing goals is not so much in what you get, like that beautiful dream home or the earnings that you earn or the business that you started or the success or the accomplishments that you've achieved. It's not for that. That's not why you set goals or what the benefit is to setting the goals. The biggest benefit is the growth that you personally experience. And why that's so beneficial is because when you're experiencing that growth, what happens for you is that you create more lasting change, more permanent change. And when I think about any time that I've ever set a stretch goal, it's always, every time, 100% of the time, has already created a wonderful growth experience for me. And so the growth occurs within you, within your knowledge, within your understanding, within your own beliefs that you have within you. So it has this wonderful positive ripple effect. And so, do you have stretch goals now? That's what I want to ask you. Do you have stretch goals or a stretch goal, minimum one goal? For everyone that's on the call right now, how many of you already have stretch goals? All right, Ash is here as well. Wonderful. Okay, great. And there's Vladdy. All right, Vladdy's joined us. Happy to have you here. Okay, just type in the chat box if you have a stretch goal. Just want to see who has a stretch goal. Or if you're not sure, let me just give you a little guidance. Yes, says Tracy. Okay, thank you, Tracy. I appreciate you answering. So a stretch goal is thank you. Beate has one. Jacqueline has one, of course. Okay, great. Wanda Marie has one. Super duper. Robert has one. Yes. Okay. Joanna. Wonderful. Okay. Super. Let's see. Yes. Yes. I have lots of stretch goals, says Lorenzo. Beautiful. Yes. Working on developing some workshops. Good for you, Sylvie. That's wonderful news. Meti. I'm crazy. Crazy? Crazy good? Stretch goals? Okay. Not sure, says Joy. Well, you would know. Ash says, yes, I have stretch goals, says Gregory Hammond. All right, wonderful. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. Oh, thank you. Lucy says, yes, I have one too. All right, great. Okay, me too. And so a stretch goal would be something like this. A stretch goal would be taking your annual income, the most you've ever earned in a year, and have that be your monthly income. That would be a stretch goal. Or it doesn't even have to be 12 times. It could be 100 times. You see, there's no more effort that's required to aim high in life, to demand prosperity and abundance than it is to accept misery and poverty. That is a straight quote out of Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So think about that for a moment and think about that quote, and I'll repeat it. Think about that quote for you. All right. So when you think about your stretch goals, think about this quote. Here I go again. It's Napoleon Hill. No more effort is required to aim high in life, to demand prosperity and abundance, than is required to have misery or poverty. No more effort. So the truth is, whatever the goal is for you, whether it's to have your income be 12 times or 100 times, the same effort is required. What's the effort to obtain a stretch goal? It's the same as any goal, and that is decide that it is yours. In other words, you claim it. You demand it. I wrote a book called The Demand Principle based on that. You demand it. Now, demand is a word that means an insistent request. It's like a baby. When they want something, they're insistent. Or my dog, who's sitting here in my office right now, she's insistent on getting a treat. So she's been here in my office for the last couple hours. She was sitting at my feet, and then she was sitting beside me, and then she finally went over to the chair in the corner there, and she laid down for a little nap. She's insistent. She was demanding a treat. She won't leave until she gets a treat. So demand means an insistent and peremptory request made as if by right. It's an expectation. And really, this is how you accomplish your goals. You expect to succeed. You expect that that goal is in your life. All right, so that's a very important part of manifestation, of the manifestation process. So you demand it with the expectation. It's also blending in one of the laws called the law of assumption. Now think about what the law of assumption is. It assumes. Do you assume that your goal is already in your life right now? Do you assume that? If not, begin at once. So how do you assume it? How do you feel it? How do you believe that the goal is in your life right now? Well, that's going to take some time, and it's definitely going to take some practice on building an emotional muscle called faith. Faith. You must build the faith. Now, how do you build the faith? You build the faith by building the beliefs that are in alignment with the goods that you desire. So if we use an example of a goal such as earnings, income, as an example, here's what happens. You make a decision that you're going to stretch yourself, and you set the objective to earn a certain amount of money. When you expect to earn that kind of money. Remembering, you don't have to know how you're going to do it. You just connect to it as if it's already done. You don't have to know how. When you're feeling as if you already have that or you're earning that kind of money in your life, you're building the faith. You're building it because you're practicing acting as if. You're literally reprogramming your conscious mind. How do you do that? It can be done through a number of ways. And it doesn't matter about the ways that you're doing it. What matters most is the conviction of your feeling. All right? What matters most is that you feel it and that you feel it now. So there's a number of recommendations that I have for getting into that feeling state and building the muscle of faith. And that's going to fall in alignment with number 3. So the third point to have massive change within a 1-year period is to discipline yourself. You know, this morning I was reading from this book right here by Neville Goddard. It is called Out of This World, or Out of This World. It's a very small book. It's only, let me see how many pages this is. It's only about 50 pages, 52 pages. And I was reading from here this morning, and I want to read this to you because this is really relevant to the third point. Thank you, Tracy, for writing the summarizing what I'm saying. All right. And here's the third point, The undisciplined mind finds it difficult to assume a state which is denied by the senses. The undisciplined mind. So number 3 is you discipline yourself. You discipline yourself. You discipline yourself so much so that every day you become embodied with that feeling of knowing that your goal is already here right now. Now, how do you do that? Well, you do that through space-time repetition of that idea, of those feelings every day. And this can be accomplished in a variety of ways. It could be done in quiet contemplation of simply closing your eyes and investing some time to visualize and see yourself and feel emotionally connected to your goal is now in your life right now. All right, you do that every day, not for just a couple minutes, but you feel it all day long. Other things that you can do is write in a journal, in a gratitude journal, about how grateful you are that you've already accomplished this, and write out other things that you're grateful for as well. Another way that you can really build that emotional muscle of faith is to look at yourself in the mirror and declare that that goal is already done. And that can be accomplished by saying words such as, I am so happy and grateful now that, and you look at yourself in the mirror, but you don't just stand there and look at yourself in the mirror. You look at yourself in the mirror and feel it. Feel it, like really feel it. Now, what you're doing is you're tapping into a mental faculty called imagination. Everyone has imagination. Every one of you has imagination. Some people are more effective at utilizing it, but it doesn't mean that you can't become great at using imagination. Another way is by listening to your Power Life script. I listened to mine already today. The earbuds are over there recharging again. And what that does by listening to, I'm going like this, I'm thinking of my earbuds, by listening over and over and over again to you talking to yourself about how amazing your life is and how you've already accomplished the goals that you've set for yourself, you reinforce it into your subconscious mind because you're using space-time repetition. Space-time repetition will build the belief within you. And within a very short period of time, you will start to feel differently. And then within a period of time, you'll begin to see the results, the evidence of that. But it doesn't happen like that. It's going to take some time. It's going to take discipline. So those are 3 ideas on how you can absolutely, massively, positively change your life in every area, if that's what you would love to do. And if you're interested in any of the programs that we offer, Vladdy is here, and Vladdy is our enrollment director, and she can certainly help you with that as well. And Vladdy will put a little link in there if you want to schedule an appointment with her. But those are the 3 things that I wanted to cover off. Yes, Anne is here as well. She's one of our Destiny coaches. She says, I love my daily disciplines. They are now a natural part of me. Right, exactly. Well, they become a natural part of you because you do them on a regular basis. So then you get to the point where, because you're habitual, we're all habitual beings, you get to a point where you don't even have to think about it. I used to use a daily discipline tracking sheet so that I would constantly check off the things that I had committed to do every single day. But now I don't even have to think about it because it's automatic. It's automated. It becomes an automated process because you're habitual. We're all habitual beings. We tend to do the same things over and over again. But where it gets really tricky and where the finite detail of manifestation really occurs is in monitoring and noticing your thinking and your feelings as well, because they're also habitual. You habitually think, you habitually feel. All right, so really pay attention to that. This is, when I think about manifestation as a process, the manifestation process is very simple. It really is simple, but there's so much little intricate details of it that if you don't get them right, it changes the course of your life. And I suspect that if you're here and you're watching this now, you have a desire. And that desire is to create the next year to be your best year ever. How many of you would love your next year to be your best year ever? Type in the chat box. But in order to have your next year be the best year ever, you have to commit to it. Yes, thank you. Okay, Ash says he's already listened to his Power Life script 10 times today. Good for you. I love that. That's wonderful. All right, great. And yes, I totally know you're committed to this. You're very much an example of a woman who's committed to taking your life to a whole new level. I love that. And I'm happy to see that you answered as well. Thank you. Okay, Jacqueline, me, Danielle, yes, Sylvie, oh yeah. Wonderful. Robert, thumbs up. Perfect. Okay, good stuff. Joanna, Milana, perfect. Okay. Vladdy, I'm expecting to see you say yes as well. I'm certain everybody has a desire for that as well. Okay, we have a question that came in. Oh, yes, Tracy says, this year is because my focus and actions. Yeah, absolutely. It's the beginning of a fantastic life. Laurette says, me, yes. All right. Thank you, Beate. All right, Latoya, hi to you. Okay, I'm gonna go over. There was a question that was submitted. We're gonna go to that question, and then we're gonna wrap it up for today. Here's the question that was submitted in advance. And actually, just before I go to that, Vladdy just wrote, only think from your goal and from growth. How much is it costing you to not invest in yourself? Ask yourself, where am I going to be in 6 months if I do nothing? I'll tell you where you'll be. In a backward motion. Things will get worse because nothing stays the same. Nothing in this universe stays the same. Everything's changing. It's either getting better, it's getting worse. But I believe we get to choose which side of that we're going to be on. All right, Gregory says yes. Vladdy, of course, yes, yes, yes. And Wanda Marie, absolutely yes. All right, great stuff. Okay, so here's Maria's question that was submitted in advance. The question is regarding Neville Goddard. At the start of his lecture, he says, when man discovers the creative power of inner talking, he realizes his function and his mission in life. As I am yet to discover my mission in life, could you please expand on this part of the lecture? I want to help people, but I don't see myself as a coach and would like to see other types of help. Okay, so I'm going to start with the second part of that. When you say you don't see yourself as a coach, is that because you don't desire it, or is that because you just don't believe that you're a coach or have what it takes to be a coach? Because what happens is sometimes people are in their own way. They're in their own way by a paradigm. And it's not a criticism by any stretch of the imagination. It's just an understanding that if you think a thought, like being a coach, we have a certification program called Destiny Coaches. And you can check that out by going to destinycoaches.com or talk to Vladdy, book an appointment with Vladdy. And the only prerequisite to being a Destiny Coach is, do you want to help people? Would you like to have an unlimited earning potential? This is really, would you be willing to teach from the programs that I've already created? And that's where it really starts, is the willingness. But if you maybe have an association to the word, then call yourself a mentor or a teacher. I remember Bob Proctor saying that when people ask him what he does, he says he's a teacher. I'm a teacher as well. and I'm a mentor, and an author. So maybe see yourself that. Now, you mentioned, could you please expand on the part of realizing your function and mission in life? So, if we think about mission, what's mission? Well, mission is what you decide your mission is, what your purpose is. No one has decided it for you. You get to decide. We're at choice always in all ways. So back in the 1990s, when I incorporated my business, which was in 1994, I made a decision that my business was here, and my purpose, my mission in life is to make a positive contribution to the lives of millions. That's my mission. That's my purpose. That's what I believe is my destiny. I decided that. You get to decide. So in the Destiny Key program, which is what our Destiny coaches, and we got a number of our Destiny coaches right here on the class. We have Gregory Hammond, we have Ann Vargman, we have Vladdy. I'm not sure if there's other Destiny coaches that are here right now, but we have a number of our Destiny coaches here, and they coach people to discover what their mission is, what their purpose is, why they feel that they were put here on this planet. All right. Ash as well. Ash is also one of our Destiny coaches. Did I miss anyone? Anyways, so that's what I would suggest. You decide, what is your mission in life? Why do you believe that you're here? What is it that you want to do? What would you love to see or people to say after you leave this earthly plane? Oh, she was one of the best whatever, or she was here to whatever. You decide. You make a decision on what that mission is, and that's your mission. No one's deciding it for you. You get to decide what that is. Okay, another question that we have. Yeah, Gregory says, I'm proud and delighted to be a Destiny coach. Question from Joanna. Do you have any suggestions if you have a paradigm to not expect things because you get let down? All right, so that's a great question. I love that. What I would suggest is to build the belief that you only get great results, that you expect the best and receive the best. Miracles are happening in your life every single day. You've got to affirm that, and then you must believe it. But in order to believe it, you affirm it every day, multiple times a day, until, and this is the building of the emotional muscle, right? Until you believe it. It's going to take some time, but the truth is, when you hear something over and over and over again, you will start to believe it. But that's how you do it. You've got to affirm it, and at the same time that you're affirming it and saying it, that you're feeling it in your heart as well. Okay, where are we? All right, well, do I have another question? I think that's it for today. We're going to call it a wrap. Remember the 3 things if you would love to have the next year be your best year ever. 1, get a mentor, get into a serious program that can teach you that. 2, is to set yourself some stretch goals. And 3 is to discipline yourself. Discipline yourself. I truly believe, you're very welcome, Joanna. I truly believe the reason why my success is the way it is today is because of the discipline. Discipline yourself today. You're going to be very glad that you did. All right, everyone, I wish you a spectacular day, and we'll see you again next week.